I'm Master Life Coach Kim Giles with your People Skills Tip of the Week. And today we're doing secret number 2 of communication skills. So in part 1, I talked about how before you ever say a word to anybody about any situation, you want to ask them more questions and listen to what they think and how they feel about the issue first. And this does a couple things. It teaches you some things you may not have known. You may have been making assumptions that were actually incorrect. And it shows the other person that you really value and care about them. So we always want to do that first. But our step 2 is to use what we call permission questions. And this is basically asking permission to share your thoughts and feelings with the other person. Now, the reason we're not just going to start talking because we listen to them is because by asking permission first, you're really showing them that you honor and respect them, and that you only are going to dump your stuff on them if they're open for that, if they're willing to listen to you. And so you'll find the very best permission questions usually start with, would you be willing to let me share with you some of my thoughts and feelings on this? Would you be open to maybe a different perspective? I use permission questions a lot with my clients. Even though they're paying for my advice, I will still say, hey, would you be open to an observation? Or would you be open to a suggestion from me? And even though they're paying me for that advice and I know that they are open, the fact that I ask the question makes them feel very respected and cared about. And you'll find the same thing for you. And this works great at work and at home. Anytime you're going to give someone advice, tell them what you think, tell your story, make a suggestion, always ask permission first. Say, hey, would you be open to some advice on that? Or do you want me to stay out of it? This is especially good if you're a mother-in-law. I wish every mother-in-law on the planet would ask, hey, would you be open to some advice on this parenting issue? Or do you want me to just let you handle it? Before we intrude on anybody's life and be so presumptuous as to give them what we think they should do, you should always, always ask permission first. Now, if you're dealing with a really difficult person who has a tendency to interrupt, you might want to be more specific. You might want to say, would you be willing to be quiet for like 5 minutes and let me really get out what I'm trying to say before you respond? Would you be willing to honor me at that level and give me those 5 minutes and get their buy-in before you ever say a word? Now, this is a trick that you're going to have to practice to make this part of how you communicate. But the more you practice it, the better your relationships will get.